What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Touchdown with Doug Smith. Man, I am so happy that you guys have tuned in today. The world's still upside down. COVID-19 still happening. Still unsure whether the NFL season is going to start on time or not. Y'all, I got you guys another video. Now, before I continue, I want to thank all of my subscribers, all of my supporters, everybody who's really been down with me from day one, and all the people who are just now subscribing and just now becoming fans of the show. So I truly, truly do appreciate every single one of you, whether it's my comedy clips, my commentary, even if y'all have negative things to say or feedback, I appreciate it. So every single one of you guys means something to me. That being said, got a little surprise for y'all. This episode, we're going to take and talk about dark horses, all right? And I'm not talking about the Kentucky Derby. I'm not talking about actual horse racing. I'm talking about NFL dark horses. I'm talking about teams that had the potential to make a very deep run in the playoffs. I'm going to leave it at that because, man, there's some really good teams, and I'll save my Super Bowl predictions for a video in maybe a couple months. But what I do want to take and talk is about a few teams that have been heavy on my heart. I've been paying attention to them. And no, not all of them are the Miami Dolphins, okay? But hint, hint, that might be one of them in this video. But the first team I want to take and talk about is going to take and be the Indianapolis Colts, okay? Now, this team is a very interesting team. It seems that they've been really trying to find their way since Peyton Manning left them for the Colts a couple years ago. Now, their owner has been making moves. Has been making moves. He's been apologetic on how they handled the removing of Peyton Manning, trading him to another team, and basically how they took it for granted. And I feel that over in Indianapolis, they want to take and create some of that same magic that they ultimately once had. Now, that being said, they had a pretty good draft. They had a really good draft. I was really impressed. If I had to take and ultimately grade their draft picks, I would probably have to give it at an A-. They have an up-and-coming defense. They have offensive weapons. They not only have Marlon Mack at running back, but also as well, you add Taylor, Jonathan Taylor, all-time leading rusher from Wisconsin. Boy, that's not a 1-2 punch or what? I'm excited for that. I'm excited for that show. And that's speaking of dark horses, it's only right that we start off with the Indianapolis Colts. Let me tell y'all something, and you know, so I'm going to talk about everybody else but Philip Rivers. I'll save Mr. Hunky Dory for last. But y'all, they got Michael Pittman Jr. Now, if those who don't remember, he is the son of Michael Pittman Sr., who actually won a Super Bowl championship with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Started running back, awesome guy, just a straight-up bruiser. Seems that his son's DNA, he now has his father's DNA, but how he takes and catches the ball. Now, obviously, we didn't have another DK Metcalf in this year's draft, but we did have Michael Pittman, and that guy he's 6'3". He's very physical when it comes to getting the ball. And you got guys like that, T.Y. Hilton, and check it out. They also took and they reloaded. I mean, they stacked up on their O-line because they've been putting that as a priority the past couple years. They got Danny Pinter from Ball State. They got defense tackle Rob Windsor. And then also one guy who also has stood out to me is Julian Blackman, who's from University of Utah, Utes. And I mean, they have a lot of really good pieces. Now we look who is in that division. You know, they have some competitors in that division. You know, they have some guys who are really, really good. But if they can make it into the playoffs, I mean, y'all, they could be another 2007 New York Giants where the 07-08 season, I think it was, where they beat the Patriots in the perfect season, where they were a team that everybody's like, you know, they're okay. But this is Philip Rivers. That's the next thing I want to talk about. This is his last year in the NFL. He's done. And he has his 20 children, say halfway jokingly. You know, he has all of his kids that he needs to support, and he also took up a job for one of the best high schools in the nation for football. So, you know, he's gonna be moving on to coaching and bigger, better things. So, Philip Rivers, man, I mean, he's been that dude since I started high school, you know. And I remember he took over for Drew Brees and stuff like that. And Philip Rivers, future Hall of Famer, you know, probably the best thrower that, you know, San Diego / LA Chargers have ever had. This is his last hurrah. The last time that Philip Rivers has been the man was when LT went on his magical season and they ended up losing to the Patriots in the playoffs. Okay, now he has a lot of tools that are very similar to what he had in San Diego. It's sometimes you need to walk away from something to realize how much you love it. And I feel like Phillip Rivers, he's really going to go all out this year. I feel like we're going to see a different side of Phillip Rivers we really haven't seen before. They did, Indianapolis Colts did very well at, stopping the run. But they had some rough games as well too. Very shaky quarterback situation. But had they had that quarterback, man, they could have won a lot more games and by a much bigger margin. So that being said, one thing I do want to say before, obviously I'm adding Indianapolis Colts on this list. With Phillip Rivers, this is his third time throwing 20 interceptions or more, and this is his second most. He had another season a couple years ago where he had 21 interceptions. Now, one thing I want to take and say with Phillip Rivers, old man Rivers, as I call him, is that it's his season to lose. It's his season to lose, and man, you got teams like Kansas City reloading, Baltimore Ravens reloading. And I still got my eyes on the New England Patriots because Bill Belichick is still who he is, and they still have all the pieces there too. So he's going to really have to bring it. He's going to have an electrifying season. And with the running game, what they have, Marlon Mack and then also Jonathan Taylor, y'all, that's a beautiful 1-2 punch that's going to take a lot of pressure off Phillip Rivers. And also as well, he has one of his coordinators that's now over there for the Indianapolis Colts. He already has that relationship there. So, Colts, that would be my first pick, okay? The New England Patriots. Yes, folks, they made the list. And this is why they made the list, okay? The New England Patriots, man, they are some sorts of a secret society. They've shown their true colors many times, but before this draft happened, there was secrets about them, rumors about them potentially trying to draft up and get Tua. What if they get Jalen Hurts? Are they keeping Jarrett Stidham? Are they happy with Jarrett Stidham? There's a lot of questions about that, but there's no other team in the National Football League right now who has a better layout, a better situation, whether it be O-line, D-line, secondary, receivers, coaching, development of talent, things that are very important for a rookie. Oh, I left one out. Culture. Now, I don't like the New England Patriots, but let's keep it real, y'all. They're a threat. Every year, they're going to be a threat. Bill Belichick is a freaking sore loser, and over his dead body, are they going to suck this year? Ray Lewis, the great Ray Lewis, once took and said that if you have your enemy on the ground, you have your foot on their throat, you better keep it on their throat. You better keep it on their throat. That being said, Bill Belichick is going to come out firing, okay? Oh, and you better believe yourself when they play the Buccaneers this year, he's going to try to win that game, even if it means cheating. Hey, proof is in the pudding, y'all. I'm just leave that one alone. Anyway, but Jarrett Stidham, I've seen a little bit of him from preseason, a few snaps he's gotten and stuff. And, he looks good. He looks good. I know he is really a Texas high school hero. He did very, very good in college. Very much a clutch player. Does have some characteristics of Tom Brady. But you guys also got to realize there's only one Tom Brady. And because the whole National Football League, it's kind of like when Tony Romo got injured and then Dak Prescott and everybody's like, oh, he's the savior! Well, what actually happened is that every team that was prepping for the Dallas Cowboys, they didn't have tape on this Dak Prescott till the following year. That's a different story. We'll talk about that in another video. But it's going to be very similar to Jarrett Stidham. He had a year to sit behind, good old Tommy boy, okay? And he has all the pieces there. If he becomes a game manager, if he makes those throws that Brady, he's a little shaky on, throughout the season, he's going to be set up for a very, very good situation. Very good situation, okay? So, again, very interesting to take and see what the New England Patriots do. They're a gritty team, y'all. They have great packages. They have great coaching. They're able to retain talent, develop talent, and they're able to win with people who are flexible, people who are able to buy into the do-your-job system. And it works. Well, it works for them because other teams try to emulate it, and it doesn't always work for them. But it works in New England. And Jarrett Stidham, I mean, that's a big reason why they're making this list is because of Jarrett Stidham. I'm very intrigued about this young man. I don't have too much negative really to say, but Bill Belichick could stay by you with Cam Newton hitting the market, Teddy Bridgewater, Nick Foles, was out in the hunting for a little bit. He was on free agent, he got traded. And there was rumors about Andy Dalton potentially going over there and stuff like that. I'm not sure what happened with that, to be honest with you, but there has to be something more to this kid. Has to be something more, but we'll see what happens. But in that division now, I'm stuck because I'm not. I'm gonna try to save my Super Bowl prediction video for as deep in preseason as I could get. I'm gonna try to save that one. But the Buffalo Bills Mafia, man, they're bringing it. They had a very good draft. They had a great free agency, and they're a team that drafted to win now, unlike the Green Bay Packers. Throw that out there. Okay, Miami Dolphins. Boom! Man, they're ready to go. They're ready to go. They got Tua Tagovailoa. Probably not going to start right away. It's going to be very interesting because they have the pieces to win now. Running backs, receivers. A big piece of the puzzle for Miami, and that's my next team I'm going to take and talk about here in a second, is going to be the O-line. But, man, that division will be very fun to watch. I think the Jets are going to be very similar to how they did this year. I don't picture them getting that much better, to be honest with you. Though they did take and get a good receiver in the draft and a few pieces of the puzzle. The management over there is trash. And, hey, it all trickles down, baby. So, Jets. I read a few articles, too. And, with these dark horse videos, you could really go crazy. You could say, ooh, the Arizona Cardinals, or I saw the Oakland Raiders made it, but they're shaky on their quarterback situation. That's the most important position on the field, okay? Anywho, my next team is the Miami Dolphins. In case you didn't know, Flo knows. And I also know that they also made this list. And let me tell you why. No, it's not because I'm biased. No, it's because I'm a biased Miami Dolphins fan, and they just have to make all my lists. Look, Dolphins have been trash for a while, but last year I've seen something that I have not seen in a long time, and that's a culture change in Miami. I have taken and seen them make a real Stephen Ross, our owner, who's really given all the hands-on work to Chris Gear and Coach Brian Flores, who I take and I have on my shirt. They're ready to build something, okay? They're tired of making the big splash in free agency, being that team who will spend quarterback money on a defensive lineman, being that team who's just going to take and sign foolishly, being that team that doesn't want to develop and retain talent like other teams do successfully, like the New England Patriots and others, okay? The Miami Dolphins, man, I've seen players who, they've gotten trades. Like when we traded Kiko Alonso and we got Vince Beagle in the trade. I'm like, the hell is this guy? Dude came out firing and had multiple sacks throughout the year, played extremely well. Brian Flores had very little to deal with. Now I'm building up to something here, so y'all just bear with me a minute, okay? But Coach Brian Flores, let me tell y'all something, man. This is a guy who won, and I've said this before, he's won 2 Super Bowls. And don't get me wrong, he has more Super Bowl rings, but he is responsible for 2 of those victories. Out-coached Wade Phillips. He's responsible for the Seattle game, the interception. He has a knack for people not only fall in love with him, his personality, but they fall in love with the mindset of the team. You had guys like a receiver that we took and got from Kansas City some years ago, and the guy was due to make $9 million, okay? He ended up taking and getting a deal for $3 million just because he wanted to stay in Miami. This is a guy who could go be a wide receiver 2 somewhere else. He's a very, very good player, okay? And in case you didn't know, the player that I'm talking about is Albert Wilson, okay? Not to mention, you also have Devontae Parker. You also have Jakeem Grant and Alan Hearns, a few other guys like that as well, too. And, of course, you have Mike Gesicki. So they had pieces of the puzzle together, but not everything. Now they had this draft that took place. Now, I'm not going to touch on free agency just yet, y'all, but I want to take and say they got Tua Tagovailoa. They got Raekwon Davis, okay? They got Robert Hunt, Brandon Jones. They got Action Jackson from freaking USC. You know, they're attacking the O-line, filling positions of need. And I'll be honest with you, they probably had more holes to fill than any team in NFL history. This might be the biggest turnaround in NFL history. Quote me on that, okay? Call me crazy now. Call me a legend later, because I'm marking it. I'm proclaiming it right now, okay? But that being said, you know, they got in the free agency, they got Emmanuel Ogbah from Kansas City Chiefs. You know, guy was a freaking heathen on the field. They got Matt Breida, former Super Bowl running back for the San Francisco 49ers. Had they gave him the ball more towards the end, they probably actually would have won that game because Kansas City was super beatable. Anywho, they also got Jordan Howard. They got Byron Jones, you know, probably top 2 free agency cornerback in the league. Kyle Van Noy, okay, coming back home to Miami. Ted Karras, also formerly from the New England Patriots. They got Eric Flowers, Shaq Lawson. The list goes on. There's way more people in this list that we also got as well, too. So, Elandon Roberts, who was a defensive captain for the New England Patriots. So we're getting guys who have leadership, guys who have skills. Yo, we weren't working with nothing last year. They said we were tanking for Tua. We still got Tua. We still won 5 games. I'm telling y'all, next year, man, we're going to rock y'all socks off. Now, yes, Ryan Fitzpatrick, just as I've said, you know, like Phillip Rivers, you know, that's going to be a determining factor if he could play well, you know, for him to really be a dark horse. Just like that they have starting this upcoming year. It's going to be up to him whether they do really, really well. And the same thing with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Now, he has a previous relationship with Mr. Chan Gailey. Now, Chan Gailey, for those who don't know, he's an offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills. He is coach for the Jets and other teams that Ryan Fitzpatrick has been on. So they already have that connection there. He's going to be a run-first type of guy rather than throwing. So they're going to establish the run, which is going to take more pressure off the quarterback. You guys see where I'm getting at. Now in that division, as I was saying, okay, I have the New England Patriots also on this list. The Bills didn't quite make this list. I feel like, you know, Allen, again, it was a matter of, you know, scouting and stuff like that. And yeah, they have a very good defense and he doesn't turn the ball over too much, but I still have to see more. I'm not exactly sold on Josh Allen. And I'll admit, he blew my expectations out of the water. I definitely remember saying, not on this channel, that he was going to be a garbage quarterback. Coming from Wyoming, who the hell did you play? But y'all, that boy, he has some legs on him. Hurdling that dude last year, shoot. But for my second pick is going to be the Chicago Bears. Hold up. Stop your judgment. I know what you're thinking. Chicago Bears, Mitch Trubisky, he don't matter no more. That's Nick Foles' team. And let me tell you why. Nick Foles, several times in his career, you can't count this guy out. You can't count him out to the point where he even won a Super Bowl a couple years ago for the Philadelphia Eagles, y'all. They're bringing in this guy because they realized they made a massive mistake with Mitch Trubisky. And guess what? Now they're making up for those mistakes. Let's take and talk about a few people that they recently added to their roster. Okay, now their defense is already stacked, but they got Clinton Dix. Okay. They got, you already know about Khalil Mack. I mean, that guy, what a steal for them. I mean, he's worth, you know, at least a first and a second round pick. He's that much of a force. This past draft, they also got Jalen Johnson, second round. Now, they didn't have a first round pick this year, but they got Jalen Johnson from University of Utah, the Utes. Now, Utes, they had a awesome year last year. Probably the best year in the school history, okay? Very, very good team. Well, probably the best year since Alex Smith was their quarterback. I'll say that. But they got him. They also got Cole Kmet. Now, there wasn't a whole – this isn't like, you know, the last 2 NFL drafts where, you know, you had a few tight ends that you could take and choose from. Y'all, Cole Kmet is that guy. He is that guy that you want on your team. He's big. He's physical. If anybody is emulating Gronkowski or looks somewhat similar, it's going to be Cole Kmet. So that's a guy who is going to be very, very good for the Chicago Bears. Now, again, you probably scratch your head, but Doug, that's not enough. Doug, that's not enough. There's other teams. What about Green Bay, Doug? What about Detroit? Well, what about them? Green Bay showed their true colors. They showed how they're trying to draft for the future when they need to be drafting for now. They need receivers for now. They didn't take and do that. Minnesota Vikings, I will say I don't have them as a dark horse team. I'm not impressed with Kirk Cousins. He wins when he wants to win. When someone says something negative about him, I question his leadership. I have a lot of questions. And that's Kirk Cousins' team where they have a good enough defense where they could make it to the Super Bowl. I'll say it. Sue me. Okay? But I'll take it and I'll say this is that and of course you have Detroit Lions. Now the Detroit Lions, they're a good team. They didn't have that much wins, but let me say they are a good team. They have Galladay. They have a lot of guys on that squad who are very, very good receivers. I would probably say they're my top 7. I'll probably put them at number 7 as far as favorite receiving core in the National Football League. That said, Matthew Stafford, people are like, well, he needs help. Stop making excuses for the guy. All right, do you have Phillip Rivers syndrome where you're just a good quarterback, you're putting up good numbers, and you have lackluster ownership, and so they're just cool with you being there? I don't know. I'll be honest with you, I don't know. But that being said, I just see a lot more dedication to draft picks, a lot more dedication to free agency, a lot more dedication to the quarterback position, and putting a quarterback in a position of authority who's going to take and win games. Nick Foles is that, y'all. Gardner Minshew, and then y'all see Jacksonville. Jacksonville's a freaking mess. That was one of my last videos a couple weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, I want to say it was, where, they just, I give them a straight up F on how they did in the draft. They absolutely sucked. And that's who Nick Foles was taking ultimately playing for. And then he got injured. Gardner Minshew came in, somebody who's younger, more nimble, ready to go, and he lit it up. And now they had a quarterback, controversy. So I don't see that happen in Chicago. But again, all I'm gonna say is I see them making it to the playoffs with that defense. You have good. Not only do you have HaHa Clinton Dix, you have Jalen Johnson. So you have them matched up. Everybody's talking about, Xavier Howard and Jones and a few of the other, cornerback tandems in the league, but they could be amongst the top 5 this year. That's a good tandem. You have a solid D-line. You have some decent receivers. I say decent. That's an area of opportunity. They have David Montgomery, a running back. Comparing them, they look dang good. I'll say they look good enough to win 10 games this year, But again, we'll see what happens. That's my dark horse pick. But that being said, you guys, those are the teams that I've chosen: Miami Dolphins, New England Patriots, Chicago Bears, and also the Indianapolis Colts. Now, there's other teams that I did not mention because I'm looking at them and I just feel like they still have a long way to go. They still have offensive lines that need to be established. They still have running games, better receiving core. There's just a lot of other pieces of the puzzle, but these 4 teams have really been attacking it. I am very impressed with all of these teams. But anywho, that's my 4. That's what I got for today. Stay tuned in. Hey, there's more comedy coming your guys' way. There's more football commentary coming your guys' way. Make sure you guys take and follow me on Instagram. Follow my Facebook page. It's called The Touchdown with Doug Smith. Same name as the channel. It's also that on Instagram as well too, okay? I'm also on TikTok at The Touchdown. That's it. The Touchdown, nothing else. So make sure you guys follow me. And also make sure you guys subscribe, man. I really need more subscribers, man. We've accomplished so much. Yo, this channel has only been out for 7 weeks. 7 weeks. So we're already at 145 subscribers. I think I'm at 7,800 views as a channel. So we're picking up steam really, really nicely. And again, I really want to just say a shout out to a few people. Shout out to Ian Lewis. Shout out to Chris Palmer. Shout out to Kevin Clements. Shout out to my boy Frankie. Shout out to everybody who's supporting Jason, Isaac. Jason, Isaac, all y'all, man. Love you guys. Shout out to my dad, my moms, man. Love you guys, man. Anybody who supported me along the way. So appreciate you guys. God bless. Be safe and wash your hands. Touchdown. Touchdown.